Hello pirates, Captain Cash here, making a little room in my warehouse. Today when I was selling off some of my things to make some warehouse space, I realized that when it came to food I only really needed a few key meals to rely on. And since meals require multiple ingredients to make, I was able to make a little extra room with the additional space. Now, in case you just happen to be also doing a little warehouse cleaning, this will help you, but if you're just tired of not knowing which of these meals are the most effective and easiest for you to make for your group, well, I will give you 2 recipes that you can rely on from here on out. The best thing about these meals is that the recipes are easy to get, and almost all of the ingredients can simply be purchased at both of our main outposts, with one that we need to harvest being super simple to gather. First up, we have the Sate Kambing. This meal reduces trim stamina consumption when trimming sails by 30% and reduces brace stamina consumption at the start of bracing by 20%. This is going to be your main meal for getting around on a daily basis. It manages your crew's stamina consumption while you're doing the one thing you do the most in the game: move around at top speed. You'll still get a nice assist to your bracing for when the going gets tough, so you can rely on this meal unless things get difficult. Then if it does, you switch to the more defensive based meal that we're going to talk about next. This meal also has a wonderful bonus of increasing your base stamina regen at 50%. Again, this is why it's the main one you're going to default to. This meal only requires meat for its ingredients: raw beef and raw mutton. And while this meat can be purchased at pretty much any outpost you go to, your 2 main vendors are going to be located at St. Anne and Talak Penjara. Just pop on over to the provisions vendor, also known in game as a hawker. I should point out though that the St. Anne hawker, Mako Lacey, she only sells raw beef. You can purchase both from, I think it's pronounced maybe Yanti or Yanti, over in Talak Penjara. She has both. I usually just buy all I can from both vendors, but that is something that I think you should know. The next meal is going to be pronounced incorrectly. It's called Ndizi Nyama. Yep, I'm going to say that one time. This reduces brace strength stamina consumption at the start of bracing by 30% and increases brace strength by 10%. Both of these are very important for any ship going into battle, whether you have a ship built to take heavy damage or not. This will reinforce your ability to brace against damage with an additional 30% increase to your base stamina regen. Keep in mind that your brace stamina and your base stamina have their own gauges, and this meal will keep both of them nicely filled. This meal requires raw chicken and water flasks, which can both be purchased from any vendor that you go to or any outpost around the game, but your main 2 vendors are located in St. Anne and Talak Penjara. Now, you will have to go out and gather bananas, which are known in game as Ndizi. Again, probably said that wrong, but you can find a ton of these on the African coast. And with the changes to harvesting that we got this season, you'll likely get a few hundred of these after about maybe 10 or so minutes of farming. And I'm also going to do a bonus meal for those of you who happen to be farming the Megalodon sea monster that we have in the game, the Lestari Stew. This increases crew-to-crew damage by 10% and also reduces trim crew stamina consumption by 30%. Now, again, I did it for a bonus for you sea monster hunters out there, but honestly, I'm also adding in this meal because of the crew damage build I did about a week or so ago for the Brigantine. You are seeing a bit of this in the background in this video. That build focuses on crew damage and it is super effective. This meal will increase that damage while assisting your trim stamina consumption rate at the same time. We still get that nice 50% increased stamina regen too, which is very, very nice with this one. Now you're already gathering what you need for this one because it's also going to need bananas, but you'll now need to add raw vegetables to your grocery list for this meal. Of course, as mentioned with all of these so far, you can get your veggies at any outpost you go to, but your main locations will be St. Anne and Talak Penjara. The Lestari meat, that's going to come from the Megalodon sea monster that we have, and it doesn't matter which Lestari you hunt because all Lestari meat works the same. So, all you will need going forward will be raw vegetables, raw chicken, raw mutton, raw beef, bananas or the Ndizi, and some Lestari meat if you are feeling adventurous. And as you begin to gather enough raw chicken and veggies, you could just grill one or the other to handle your crew's base stamina needs. But every piece of food and meal that I did not mention in this video can straight up be sold, hopefully giving you and your warehouse some breathing room in the process. Now, for those of you who are still here, thank you for listening this long, but if you are still here, I have a bonus for you. We are going to have a seasonal event for Halloween popping up soon, and we will more than likely have some sort of additional food item added in for the event. This Lotus Mooncake you see here was from our last racing series event, and it features some of the food perks that I showed off in the video. One additional perk added to the event food can be an increase to your reload speed as shown here. I'm only mentioning this because the same food perk arrangement was on a drink that we got for a recent summer event. So I'm just going to hardcore assume there's a very good chance that there'll be another snack for this event that'll be able to increase your reload speed too. So keep an eye out for that, my fellow captains, but that is going to do it for today. I have been Captain Cash the Stampede, and I will see you on the seas. Take it easy out there.